Hi everyone, welcome to Keep Calm and Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute little otter. For this tutorial you're going to need plush yarn in brown, cream and a tiny bit of black for the nose, 12mm security eyes. I'm going to be working this project with a 5mm crochet hook. In addition to this, you're going to need stitch marker, pair of scissors, darning needle and some fiber fill. So make sure you've got all of those components. Now before you start, if you enjoy watching my tutorials, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. We're going to start off by working the head of this otter, and for this, let's go ahead and work a slip knot using whatever method you prefer and chain 2. This method here is an alternative to magic ring, but if you prefer working with magic ring, then skip this method and work round 1 straight into your magic ring. But with this method, you're going to skip your first chain and work your round 1 in the second chain from your hook. So slip your hook in there, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both. That's my first single crochet. We're going to be working 8 of these all together. Here's my third, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, and my final one, number 8. Once you have your 8 single crochets in a row, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. Now this will bring your stitches nice and close together. And once we have done that, you're going to start working in a spiral, which means you're going to slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and pull up a loop from there to start round 2. Let's begin by working a single crochet, back in the same stitch to work another single crochet. Now I work 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and this is called an increase. We're going to be working an increase in every single one of these stitches all the way around. So in total you will have 8 increases. Here's my 4th increase, 5th increase, 6th, 7th, and my final increase, number 8. Now this brings my stitch count to 16. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. And from here I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of my rounds so I can keep an accurate stitch count. Now if you don't have a stitch marker, feel free to use a scrap bit of yarn, paper clip or even a safety pin. So anything to identify this part. We're going to follow this single crochet on with an increase in the next stitch. And here's your repeat for this round. Single crochet followed on with an increase, and we are going to repeat that all the way around until we get to this point. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. We're now going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Let's go ahead and put the stitch marker back in place. We're going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So just like this, you're going to work a single crochet in all of these stitches until you get to this point. Once you've done that, you're going to follow that same method and keep working 24 single crochets in a row 2 more times. So in total, you will be working 3 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. After 4 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 24. Now we're going to fasten off with this color by working a slip stitch in the next stitch like this. Let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. Now we're going to grab our new color, which is this cream, lovely cream color. Going to attach that on any of these stitches on the top, but I will suggest for you to not attach it at the same point, otherwise you will see a sudden change in color. I tend to attach it almost on the opposite side So slip your hook in one of these stitches, loop this yarn onto your hook and pull this in just like this. Hold this tail end down and chain 1. Pull this tail end further and that attaches your new yarn. Slip your hook back into that same stitch to work your first single crochet. I'm going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 24 single crochets in a row. I've chosen not to use a stitch marker at this point just because I can see where the round is started, but you feel free to use one if you wish to. Let's work on this round together. Almost to the end now. And here we are. Last stitch of this round. This brings our stitch count to 24 still. We're going to now again start working in a spiral. So I'm going to slip my hook in the first single crochet off this white stitch. Pull up a loop from there. Let's use a stitch marker to identify the start of my round now. Follow this single crochet on with a decrease. Now when we're working decreases, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. Let's show you this one more time. Slip your hook in the next stitch and work your first single crochet and then decrease. Slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's my 2 decreases done. And here's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease and repeat that all the way around till you get to this point. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 16. Now before we start our next round, we're going to take a minute and insert some security eyes into this head. So I'm going to attach these eyes or insert these eyes in the round where we've changed the color. So you will notice one round is made with both colors like this one. So I'm going to insert the eye just above, just where the color change happens. Let's go ahead and put the backing on. And from here you're going to keep about 4 to 5 stitches in between and then insert the other eye. So I'm going to keep 1, 2, 3, 4 and in the 5th stitch I'm going to insert the eye. Let's go ahead and put the backing on again and continue the next round. For this you're going to be working 8 decreases. Let's do this together. Slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Do the same with the stitch after that. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. I'm going to put my stitch marker back in place and follow this decrease on with a decrease in every one of these stitches. So in total you'll work 8 decreases. Here's my 3rd one. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seventh, and my final one, number 8, here. And this brings your stitch count to 8. Now the gap between the stitches is quite small. So first of all, let's go ahead and take the stitch marker out and work a slip stitch in the next stitch to fasten off. Like this. Let's go ahead and snip this yarn off. Pull it out of the stitch, pull this down to secure it in place. Let's go ahead and stuff this head up with some fiber fill. And there we go. And once we have stuffed the head with fibre fill, we're going to grab our brown yarn again and attach that onto the bottom again. So again, keeping it away from the stitch that we finished with to avoid that sudden change in colour. Pull the new yarn through, hold on to the tail and chain 1. Pull this tail down to secure this in place. Slip your hook back into that same stitch, pull up a loop to work your first single crochet. In this round, we're going to be working a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So you'll have 8 single crochets in a row. And here's my last stitch. Now let's stuff all of these tail ends inside the head, inside this head as well. And we are going to slip our hook in the first single crochet of our round in brown color and pull up a loop from there to start the next round. Stitch marker back in place. Going to follow the single crochet on with an increase, which means 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And we're going to be working 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, and we'll repeat that all the way around, and you'll be able to fit this combination 4 times all together. So we're going to work this together. And my last time, 1 single crochet followed on with an increase. And there we go. Stitch count at this point is 12. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So in total, you're going to have 12 single crochets. And almost to the end now. Here's my last stitch. After this one round of single crochet, stitch count is still 12. Let's start the next round with 2 single crochets in a row. So there's my first. Stitch marker back in place. Second. And follow this on with an increase. And here's your combination for this round. 2 single crochets followed on with an increase. Let's repeat that all the way around. And one last time. 2 single crochets in a row, followed on with an increase in the last stitch here. This brings our stitch count to 16. Let's start the next round by working a round of just single crochets. So we will have 16 single crochets in a row for this time. Stitch marker back in place. And let's work this one together as well. And here's my last stitch. At the end of this round, stitch count is still 16. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with an increase. And here's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase. Repeat that all the way around. You'll be able to fit this combination in 8 times. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Followed on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 24 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to repeat the same process 4 times to have 5 rounds of single crochet all together. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 5 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 24. Let's start the next round by working 2 single crochets in a row. Here's my first, second, stitch marker back in place. Follow these 2 single crochets on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your repeat for this round. 2 single crochets, followed on with a decrease. And repeat that all the way around. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with a decrease. And here's your combination for this round. Single crochet followed on with a decrease and repeat that all the way around. Now, as you can see, the gap between the stitches is decreasing with every round. So make sure you've stuffed this body up with fibre fill really nice and well before you work this round, and keep topping it up as we are working the next few rounds. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 12. Now we're going to work our final round to close this gap off, so make sure that your body is stuffed with fibre fill all the way to the top, or as much as you want it to be. Now, we're going to work a round of just decreases. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's my first stitch of this round. We're going to be working 6 decreases. You might want to push the yarn or the fibre fill out of the way when you slip your hook into the stitch, otherwise you might catch the fibre fill. That's my second decrease. Third decrease. Fourth decrease. Fifth, and my final one, decrease number 6. And once you've done this, you're going to see that there is still a tiny gap left between the stitches, and we're going to just leave it as it is. And we're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. So there's 3, 4, 5. Here's my 6th one. And your stitch count shouldn't change. It will still be 6. And you're going to follow this same method 6 times from here on to have 6 rounds of just single crochet, excluding this one. So all together, if we include this one, there will be 7 rounds of just single crochet. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 6 rounds of single crochet, this is what the otter will look like with its tail. We are going to now work 3 decreases from here to finish off with this tail. Slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's my first one. Let's go ahead and work 2 more. Here's my second. And my final one, third. And once we've worked that, you're going to slip stitch in the next stitch to finish off with this body all together, like this. Snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch, pull this down to secure it in place, slip your hook in from further away, make it come out from that same stitch where we've just finished. Loop this yarn onto your hook and pull this in. If it comes out from another side, you certainly can snip it off, or you can repeat the process one more time to pull this inside the body. And like this. Once you're done, you're going to give this whole body a squeeze so fibre fill gets distributed evenly. And there we go. This is the body of this otter complete. Now onto the mouth of this otter. For this, we're going to take our white yarn and work a slip knot using whatever method you prefer. Slip your hook inside and chain 2. Skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Here's my third one, fourth, 5th and 6th. Once you have your 6 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. And there we go. And start the next round by slipping your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round. Pull up a loop from there and work a single crochet in there. Follow this on with an increase in the next stitch. And here's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase. You should be able to fit this in 3 times altogether. So let's work on it together here. Here's the second time done. One more time. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase in the next stitch. And from here we are going to work 1 whole round of just single crochets. Slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Let's use our stitch marker here, and we are going to be following this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches. In total there should be 9 single crochets all together to finish this round off. And once you've done that, you are going to turn this the right way around, take the stitch marker off and work a slip stitch in the next stitch to fasten off. Now this time around we're going to snip the yarn off, leaving a long tail, as we're going to sew this onto the face later. Pull it out of the stitch, pull this down, and that's the muzzle or the mouth complete. Now onto the arms and legs for this otter. Let's start by working a slip knot, chain 2, skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. That's my first, second, third, fourth, 5th, and here's my 6th one. Once you have your 6 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches, and this should bring the stitches nice and close together. Let's start working in a spiral. Slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and work a single crochet there. Let's use a stitch marker from here on, and I'm going to be working a round of just single crochets, and we're going to have 5 of them all together. So there's round 1, here's round 2, stitch marker off. Let's start round 3 again, 6 single crochets in a row. Once you've worked your 3rd round, before you continue any more rounds, you're going to turn this the right way around. stuff this tail inside the hand or the leg, the arm or the leg. And from here, let's continue, and we will work 3 more rounds. So 2 more rounds of just single crochet. So let's go ahead. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's round 1. Let's continue and do 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's count. We should have 5 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from here, once you've done that, you are going to slip your hook in the next stitch. And we're going to turn this so we can slip our hook from the stitches at the back as well. So if I pull this apart, you will notice that I've gone through the front and the back of these stitches in one go. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and work our first single crochet. We're closing this gap off by doing this. We're going to work 3 single crochets across. Here's my second. And my third one is right here as well. Once you've done that, you're going to chain 1, snip this yarn off, leaving a long tail, pull it out of the stitch, and pull this down to secure it in place. And here's one of the arms done. You're going to follow the same instructions and create 4 of these. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Now onto the assembly. We're going to start off by attaching the legs on the body. And to be able to do this, you're going to first of all trace the middle of the face all the way down to the bottom or the belly or just above the tail. And let's insert a pin inside. So just to repeat, we've gone all the way down the middle of the body and inserted this pin to know exactly where the middle is. We're going to take one leg, thread this bit into the darning needle, hold this leg facing upwards on this side of the pin. We're going to keep 1 stitch in between the legs, so that where the pin is at the moment, and we're going to stitch this leg, the base of this leg, 2 rounds above where the tail is started. So I'm going to hold this upside down just to show you how to sew this. We're going to catch 1 stitch on the body and then go make the needle go through the stitches on the leg as well. Always go through each stitch twice to make the connection really nice and strong. Move to the next stitch and repeat the process. And when we get to the final stitch, go through the stitch, turn it this way so we can secure the end nice and neatly. That's coiled around the pin. Let me untangle that. And once we've done that, you're going to create a loop with your thread, slip your needle through it and pull this down gently, and this will secure the thread in place. Let's repeat that process one more time. Slip your needle in that same stitch, turn this up, and let's attach that down here. So slip it in now. Let's move that needle out and put it back in again. And I'm going to now move it a couple more stitches up just so I can secure this foot down on the top as well. So I have moved 1, 2, 3 stitches above where we have attached the leg, and hold the leg next to the body, and just where it touches the body we're going to connect those 2 things like this. And one last time, move the top part away and just sew the leg and the body together by going through those stitches. And once you've done that, you're going to create a loop in place, isolate the thread and make a circle. There it is. It's quite small. I'm not sure if you can see this. We're going to slip our needle into that ring that we've created, pull on the thread gently, and that should secure your thread in place. Slip it back inside that same stitch, make your needle go through some fibre fill, come out from another side of the body and pull this out. And we can now go ahead and snip this at the base, making sure you don't actually catch the body. And once that's done, give the whole body a little squeeze. That's one of the legs attached. You're going to follow the same method to attach the other leg on as well. So when you're positioning it, you're going to keep this facing upwards, attach the base 2 rounds above the tail, keeping the stitch where we put this needle in without being touched, and you can attach it on that side so they are evenly spaced out in the middle like this. So go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Legs are now attached. You can take the pin out, and there we go. Let's grab the arms now, and we're going to be attaching those sideways like this in an angle across the side. So when you see it from the front, it looks a bit like this. To be able to do this, you're going to trace down halfway point of the head all the way down to the body, and this is where you're going to be sewing this. So we are going to position the top of the arm, let me grab that, in the round below, 1 round below the neck. So there's the head, there's the neck, and we're attaching the top part right in the middle. The back of it will go in an angle and it will go backwards like this. So let me repeat that. Trace down the middle of the head all the way down until you get to the body. Leave 1 round and attach the top part of the arm in the round below that. So just around here. Let's insert that so we know where it is. And now once you've done the top part in the middle, the back is going to be in an angle. Let's attach that together, hold it in place. And just the same way we did it with the legs, we're going to attach the arms together as well. So the body and the arm by catching 1 stitch at a time. And the last one. Once you've done that, you're going to create a loop with your thread, slip your needle inside and pull this down to secure this in place. When you do this, it creates a knot, and and because of that, it secures it. And let's repeat the process if you wish to. I'm going to have 2 knots. And once that's done, slip your needle back into that same stitch, make it go through some fibre fill, come out from another side. Doesn't matter where it comes out from. And we can go ahead and snip this off. Pull the extra bits off. And there we go. That's the arm attached. Follow the same instructions and attach the other arm on as well. And then meet me back here. Arms are now on. Let's move on to the muzzle. Let's hold, so making sure that the stitch is at the back, hold the muzzle directly in between the eyes, and we're going to catch 1 stitch at a time on the body and then the hair and then the muzzle to attach those 2 together, just the way we've done it with the other components. So let's work on this together. When we get to the other side, we're not going to close the whole thing up, as we're going to stuff some fibre fill in a moment. So work it all the way, but leaving an inch so we can stuff this up with fibre fill. So let's get a tiny bit of fibre fill, and we're going to slip that inside this from this side, and then continue stitching this onto the face. And once you've made your way all the way around, you're going to just make your way through the last stitch one more time. Create a loop, slip your needle through there, gently pull to create that knot in place. Repeat the process one more time. There's my tiny little loop. I'm going to slip that in there and pull this again. And that attaches the muzzle on. Slip your needle back in that same stitch, guided to go through some fiber fill. Come out from another side of the head. Pull this in. Snip this off. Pick out if it's visible and then squeeze the head. And that completes and attaches the muzzle. Let's go ahead and grab some black yarn now to make the finer details on the nose, and we're going to make a tiny little button nose on top. It's going to be directly in the middle of the eyes. So slip your needle in from one side and guide it to come out from the other, making sure the width of the nose is what you desire it to be. From here, you're going to just go through those 2 stitches a few times until you have the desired size of the nose. Each time when you pull the thread in, make sure to make the strands sit side by side and not overlap too much. And my last time, so I've gone through it 3 times, and there we go. Now from here I'm going to grab these 2 strands and tie a knot in place, but when you do a knot, it needs to sit on the edge of the nose, not in the middle. So when I'm tying a knot, I'm going to do it on the side like this. And now slip your needle back into that same stitch and guide it to go through some fiber fill and come out from another side of the head. Pull this in and snip this off. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Thread this bit into your darning needle as well. Slip that into the same stitch. Again, guide it to go through some fiber fill, come out from another side of the head, pull it out, and snip this in place. Now, if this nose got pulled in, you're going to use your darning needle or a hook, slip your hook inside and release it so it retains its shape. Let's remove all the fluff from around here. And there we go. That completes the nose. Now onto the ears for this otter. So we're going to start off by identifying where we're going to make the ears. We're going to use the eye as the guideline from where the eye has been inserted, which was the change in color. We're going to count 3 rounds above. 1, 2, 3. And then on the side profile of the head, you're going to slip your hook from one side and make it come out from another like this. So 3 round above where the eye was inserted. In the middle of the side profile, isolate 1 stitch, grab the brown yarn, pull this through, and give it a little knot in place. I always give it double knot. Slip your hook in from further away, make it come out from that same stitch, loop this little bit of strand in and pull this into the head. And we can now start on the ears. Slip your hook around that same stitch one more time, pull up a loop, chain 1. Slip your hook around that same stitch again, and we're going to work 3 single crochets. So that's my first single crochet, all around that same stitch. Second single crochet, back around that same stitch. third single crochet. Once you worked your 3 single crochets, you're going to slip your hook in the round below, directly below, and isolate that stitch. Pull up a loop from there and make this loop go through the loop that's already on your hook. Let's grab our pair of scissors, snip this off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down. And that makes the ear. We're now going to slip our hook from further away, make it come out from that same stitch, loop this bit of yarn onto the hook now, and pull that into the head as well. And there we go. That's one of the ears done. You're going to follow the same instructions and make it on the other side. Just to double check, eyes are going to be the factor that decides where the ears are going to be. 3 rounds above the eyes. Isolate 1 single stitch right in the middle of the side profile. Attach the new yarn and work 3 single crochets and attach it at the base. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. I've now made the other ear as well, and there we go. This finishes our otter. If you enjoyed making this otter with me, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.